The long and arduous path that Oel Squad had to follow throughout the past year until completion was similar to that of the Dilducks qualifying for the OWCS. However, unlike the relegation ducks, these individuals actually have hands. Aftershocks, neural activation, and a strange emphasis on feet can nail most of the general outlook on Obol. However, given my title as the #1 Soldier 11 Glazer, it is my duty to distribute glaze to all of Obol with equal magnitude. So today, in a video that probably should have been released a great while ago, oh my goodness gracious, I am behind. Let's talk Obol. Possibly the best squad in the game with the least biased commentator of all time. But before I can put on my best Oprah Winfrey cosplay, it is time for me to plug Glazewood. It's a great place to be with glazers of all kinds. Look at my glazer tag. You can have this for yourself if you just decide to join up. Amongst the very chill people here, we have the W Oiler, Professor Kirby. This individual has provided us with the Orphe fund, which we greatly appreciate because I use it in every single one of my videos basically, and we'll be using her in many videos to come in the future. Also a massive thank you to my moderation team. Thank you Japan Burger, Aelise, Blood, Alexiel, Macballa, Malekith, Pine, Zenless, and Super Yam. I appreciate all the assistance with running the server, thank you so much. And of course, another giant set of thank yous to all of the server glazers. Thank you to Matt, Adam Split, A Wanderer, Aurora, Eric, DeBurnaboy, Derica, Dodummy, Gotaru, Carrie, Kiro, Alexiel again, Lazy Refined, Lynn, Nightshade, Not Christoph, Omega, Oreo, Plarian, Zenless again, Scythe, Saint Anger, Sweepra, The Agendler, Ziv, and Mai. And also a massive thank you to those who decided to become channel members. It is only 1 USD, and you get a little soy badge next to your name, and you also get 3 emotes that I'm showing on the screen right now. It is entirely up to you. I will read your comment no matter what the case is, but any support is greatly appreciated. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We are very close to hitting 5,000 subscribers, and for a special, I have no idea, so if you guys would like to, please leave a comment down below on what I should be doing. Ideally, it's not oiling up because I'm not Ken. And without any more stalling, let's get obular, shall we? Art is often a very odd interpretation game. I can see Sonic racing a creeper in Sonic Crossworlds while both of them are in minecarts, and then I can see Hana who's made this amazing Seed and Rocket Boo art here, and both can be considered works of art. Sugar Free becoming Stick the Tanklin Ocean, Tomathan Uploads, and that time Ken did an Indian accent, all are examples of art in the modern day. And when it comes to Zenless, none can really compare to that of the Obol Squad. If you didn't notice already, this isn't going to be an objective video. I mean, look at my entire channel. But one of the most unique things about this faction comes from its heavy emphasis as working as a collective. Almost everyone here is able to contribute something to the table that the team lineup is able to benefit from when working together. Okay, all except for Soldier 11. Soldier 11 is like that friend who shows up to the gathering but never brings food, but because she's so chill, everyone is kind of okay with them for some reason. But besides her, everyone in Obol meshes together in a way that can only be separated via a world-cutting slash. So, to start us off, why don't we get a little strange? No Steven. Bomb them! I think I need to be shot actually. And begin with Plants vs. Zombies Sunflower's most hated enemy, Seed. Now we all know who wins in this scoot-off. The Happy Wheels guy gets brutally embarrassed by the strange toe lady. However, that is not all. Outside of her insane speed, Seed also has something else in her packet. Outside of her nuclear damage instances, Seed is also strapped with an incomplete pre-release of Original Me by Astra Yao, indicated by how many buffs she actually provides to her team with the partner effect. Not only is Seed a hybrid attack support unit, she also has one of the most unique additional abilities in the game, with a single condition being having another attacker in the team comp. Which is a really cool feature until you realize that most of the attackers in the game are kind of just bench warmers, and Orphe is like the guy who has to run in the 4x100 meter dash, but wasn't fast enough to be in the top 3 and was kind of slotted into the relay because there was no other option. It's very specific because it might have been true for me, I'll be honest with you, but that's not what's important here. What actually is important is how Seed is likely going to do what Megami wishes he could do before his series ended, that being actually achieving the potential that was always there. Inevitably, there will be another support attacking hybrid that appears in the future that isn't Orphe that will allow for Seed to remain on the field for basically the entire time. But until then, we will have to sit here watching the death battle between the Blue Scooter Demon and the not-so-heroic self-sacrificing Sorcerer. Now, on the topic of potential, what if we went over one of the Obol members who actually pulled off their potential actualization, and in classic shonen fashion, is not done yet? Of course, I am speaking of the one and only Neuron Activation Factory, Trigger. good heavens me, I saw that Choco Kai post and I just lost it. Like, actually, I fell to my knees. It wasn't in public, but I fell to my knees in my own household. Like, good heavens me. Now, when it comes to the yellow Inteleon adjacent sniper, Trigger might do a little more than a spoonful. Like, I am talking lighter levels of stunner potency. But instead of being focused heavily on ice and fire, she's just generally a beast. Of course, not morbidly a beast, but, you know, if we're talking about certain... That was my bad, I'm sorry. I should have been a little bit more professional in the workplace. That is my bad. But Trigger is a really good unit. Potentially one of the best support units in the game that isn't classified as a support unit. If you were to bring her home, she is stacked with achievements, alright? Like, oh yeah, she's able to do a stun multiplier amp outside of a stun window, during the stun window, solid personal damage, surprisingly good stun buildup, and even though the Fate Stay Night collab is in Star Rail, Trigger be taking a page out of Archer's book when it comes to the unlimited disc/Wenjin works. It seriously looks like a buffet with the variety that she provides you with her Wenjins and her disc drives. There are 4 sets that she can actually run, and you can also run so many different Wenjins. You could run her Sig, which is basically doing a Void impression from Sonic Colors the way that it be eaten away at enemy defenses, with all the other options providing her a more stun-centric playstyle. Shadow Harmony for personal DPS, King of the Summit for general buffing of your teammates, Shockstar for personal stunning. Astral Voice can even work because you can proc Quick Assist on 3 separate attacks in her kit. I sure hope I'm not doing the undersell of the century, because she is the reason I ended up getting my first 100k clear on Deadly Assault. I mean, very similar to her character in game, this flexibility is something insane. And of course, one of the most impressive things that we gotta talk about is how does one make someone wearing an Oculus Rift look both auriful and a neuron activation factory at the exact same time. You see, the transition here was going to be a hassle no matter how I do it. So instead, I'll just go with Orphe is the captain, and that is who we're going to be talking about now. You see what I did there? I just simply ignored the problem and proceeded as if nothing happened. Very similar to how this squad does things with enemy defense. A lot of the time, the damage that your agents are doing is going to be reduced quite a bit because the enemy has a large amount of defense. But if you're part of Obol, just simply rip it off. Like, you know, the rip off your skin one, but just rip off the defense. Come on. Or just ignore it entirely. You can do either one. Honestly, it's completely up to you. Orphe does not care about defense in the slightest. Her additional ability allows for all aftershocks, including all of her attacks by the way, to ignore 25% of enemy defense, which will be active as long as her main buff is active. And on top of that, her Wenjin allows her to ignore an additional 15% of defense, and if you're running her with Trigger, you are able to ignore basically another 25% of the enemy's defense because it is being reduced by 25%. Is that how it works exactly? Most likely not, but this is shredding on the level that is relative to that of the big Lenny. Like, yes bro, we see the games, but we did also see you Vaughn out on Trong. All I'm saying. One of the biggest things about Orphe besides her assets comes from that of her defense ignore on aftershocks for everyone, including herself, which is very, very helpful for a certain burger-enjoying Beyblade enthusiast. The synergy that Orphe and Sanbi have together is able to rival that of Aoi Todo and Yuji Itadori, being more accurately represented by the Season 2 team-up, especially after Sanbi got her buffs, qualifying a lot more of her attacks in her kit as aftershocks. And on the topic of aftershocks, I think it is a pretty creative way to add additional attacks for a character's kit, especially when you consider how many other characters have been given access to them, but they also get access to some of the most insane buffs in the game. Like seriously, any enemy that you face with Orphe and Trigger with their SIGs, it's literally looked like they spammed close combat 6 times in a row with that level of defense that they have remaining. Now, at the mention of Pokemon, one of the real questions that I have for you is what would the team lineup be for each of the Obol units? What would their number 1 Pokemon be? Like, I know for a fact Soldier 11 is probably going to have Ceruledge, but I also think that Quilava could be a good contender simply because the final hit of her basic attack string is a Flame Wheel. And come on now, Quilava has that thing on lock. I promise you, this is a vision that I've had and has been granted to me by my ancestors. You cannot call me stupid. But be sure to leave it in the comments. I will definitely look at everything, do not fear. But it is now time for the most important event of the day. It is time for the most glazed individual on this channel to make an appearance. Once again, Soldier 11 is here to remind you that she is one of the best Sander Banner units of all time. We are not going to acknowledge that Lycon exists, okay? We're not going to do that. We're going to be really smart individuals and go along with the Glazer statement. The reappearance rate of Soldier 11 on this channel rivals that of the Man Behind the Slaughter, but in terms of the actual game, Soldier 11 was the first one spawned, truly the pioneer Obol unit, allowing for the rest of the Obol Squad to be whatever they wanted to be. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, Boiled Pasta might actually lose to Soldier 11's kit in the blend off. However, it is still pretty cool to see that there is still synergy with her amongst her teammates, and okay, not so much with her older sister, but she does function as a somewhat decent partner for Seed. You've seen my mono fire team happen like maybe 6 videos in a row at this point, and I am just self-reporting with who I follow on Twitter. The timing-based attacks, the golden carrot tier of oversaturated damage percent, the absolute tossing of the Pompey salad that happens every time he's in Deadly Assault, all come together to just make my absolute favorite unit in the game. And honestly, it is beautiful just seeing that Obol Squad can come together with 3 attackers and 1 stunner, even though it's not actually that. It's more so like 1 pure attacker, 2 hybrid attack supports, and then my daily neuron activation routine, all coming together to form one of the most interesting team loadouts of all time. And honestly, it is a very cool squad that will have a lot of potential in the future. Looking at how strong Trigger and Orphe are as the just characters sitting around, Trigger can likely match Maharaga in terms of adaptability in the future when more stun sets decide to drop, and if more Aftershock DPS units decide to drop as well outside of Sanby, Orphe is going to be there to add an insane amount of value to that team. But whatever the case is, this is my favorite squad, and I think it is probably one of the most well thought out ones in the game. Of course, a biased take by the Glazer guy, I know, but that's the video. I was here to glaze Obol Squad, and I had to redo the script again because I felt like I could do a little bit more with my wordplay. I hope the references in this made it a lot more interesting for the brain machine. I was watching some Tom Within videos, and I realized that I kind of just gotta improve my wordplay, so hopefully this was way more interesting. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, join Glazewood. Also, be sure to comment down video ideas for the 5K special. I have something in mind, but I'm not the most, certain on what I should do. But maybe another Q&A could happen. I have no idea. Whatever the case is, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope to see you guys around next time. But yeah, take care, everybody. I'll see you around. Bye-bye.